too, man.
It's it. We're just going live right into this. No big intro, just Tank, Jay, and what happened last night.
It was justice for Tank.
It was awkward. It was awkward this morning. We just kind of looked at each other and walked away.
Well, we are live and everybody's ready. We're going on over Wandavision episode 4, and finally, right? Finally
for the naysayers and the non-believers. Well, this is what I've been saying since the first episode. Like, come on, it's gonna get there.
We kind of talked that episode 4 was gonna be the jump off point almost, and we were gonna really look forward to episode 5, and I'm really looking forward to episode 5. It was really cool. Obviously, I'm here with Gem Mint. We got Jay the Butcher from Pressable Defects. Matt can't make it tonight, but I do have some info from
tonight.
Him.
Is Gem Fisto.
Gem Fisto. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
How's everyone doing? Jay, how are you doing?
Good, man. I got to sleep late. Like I said, I woke up. Me and Tank made eye contact for like 2 seconds, and then I had to walk away. And you know what? I watched WandaVision twice today. See what I could pick up. There wasn't much. Not a lot. There was a couple of Easter eggs, but not much. You know.
But it was a lot of stuff that we've already seen, just kind of from like the full view, right?
Yeah, it was from the outside looking in this time. But
a lot of things were confirmed, and yet there were also some questions too that came out of this episode. It was great, full color, full MCU feel. Like this had the MCU feel.
Yeah.
Not only did it have the MCU feel, it placed you where you were and when you were in the MCU timeline. So like you knew you were after the blip.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? You knew what town you were in, Jersey, Dirty Jers. You learned about the city. So man, such a revealing question answering episode.
Just the way it even opens up.
I'll tell you. See, and we thought that footage was going to be scrapped from the trailer, but they used it in this episode with Rambo, Monica Rambo.
Yeah, Monica Rambo. Yep.
Yo, is it? It threw me off when they kept calling her Rambo. It's like it's not Rambo, it's Rambo.
Yeah. Yep.
Out of the gate with a super chat, Nick Barucci. Thank you for the $10 super chat. Love seeing my buddy.
Hold on, that's $100, bro.
Oh God, that's $100,
man. Yep.
Super chat. Nick,
shout out to my boy Nick Barucci. Nice to see you in the chat, man.
Big super chat. Love seeing my buddy Gem Mint with Y2 Gary and Jay. Thank you, Nick, brother. So much. By the way, your books are going out. Jay got your books out today.
Yeah, guys, if you ordered books, I woke up and I got them out this morning.
I was surprised to see Gary on Instagram had all this stuff packaged up already. I figured you guys would have just woke up for this.
Dude, it was a long night.
Yeah, I woke up to memes of me and Tank and videos.
Thank you so much, Nick. Much appreciated. And everyone else in the chat, thanks for hanging. We're pushing 100 already. I feel like this is going to be the one, too, where the chat's going to really get involved.
Yeah.
So let's just go over it. I'm going to hop right into it. First of all, episode 4, we go into the Rambo view. We're no longer, I'm going to use air quotes here, we're no longer in WandaVision, right? We're on the outside looking in. We have a timetable, like Gem said. We know where we are now. We are about 2 weeks post return, right? The blip return.
Yep.
The episode starts out phenomenal. You see, and I saw some of this on YouTube already, so I'm stealing it from people. When you watched Spider-Man, what was it, Far From Home?
I was just going to bring that up because where was that after the blip? That was
like right after as well, because they showed almost like a humorous return. They were on the basketball court. They were playing basketball. All of a sudden, the band showed back up. Dudes were getting hit in the head with the basketball. It was kind of like a comical return. We got another super chat. Wayne Watts, $5. Just have Wanda try and pick up Tank, and the reality will come back.
Tank's like the lockjaw now.
Wanda doesn't have to use her hands. She could just...
Yeah, that's probably the safest way. So we get the almost like the more, I don't know if it's the right way to put it, but almost like a real life view of what would have happened when everyone came back. Pure chaos in the hospital, scary, people panicking. Nobody knows what's going on.
And we know like Monica, like she feels like she just fell asleep and woke up like this, but it's been 5 years.
And I think Marvel hit it right on the head when they had her awaken in a hospital, because what better place where there's a ton of chaos going on, people died, people coming back, so it was good.
And she actually says too to the doctor that worked with her mom, I maybe fell asleep for 20 minutes,
20 minutes.
And what happened? So she's caught up real quick, as are we. That the Rambo we know back from Miss Marvel, she'd passed away 2 years post first blip. So she's been gone for 3 years, right?
That's like what Gary B in the chat saying. So what they're saying is that she did recover and she lived good for 2 years, but then she passed away 3 years ago for a total of a 5-year gap.
Yep.
Right. And we'll get into the sword and everything, but she's a very important character we learn about. Extremely important.
Yeah, I didn't realize how important she was going to be. Is she always like the director of sword in the comics and all that?
I honestly don't know.
No, they switched it up a little bit.
Okay.
I went through I was pausing every 5 seconds on this episode to see what I could come up with. But yeah, there's a lot of stuff. There's stuff in there, but not many books to grab that we haven't talked about previous. And guys, if you've been watching Gary's channel when we do these breakdowns, we're telling you to grab books before it makes it on the app. So just pay attention and watch.
How did we know that Geraldine was Monica Rambeau? We were talking about that off rip.
Yeah, well, so you know what's so funny when you go back and watch now? It looks like she just made up that name at like the drop of a dime because she kind of looks at Wanda and she's like, Geraldine.
Like it might have been like a relative's name or something, right? Like a grandmother.
So now you know. And I thought what was cool, what Marvel also did was just like they brought the drone in and it turned into an old school helicopter.
Yep.
When Monica Rambeau came into Wanda's, to Westview, her name tag from sword turned into a necklace with an emblem with this sword. So I thought how they did that was cool. But we'll get into more emblems too in a little bit.
Well, hold on. So we talk about stuff coming into Wandavision, I guess we'll call it, and like de-aging or whatever, because that kind of throws off the AIM angle here.
Well, I'm going to touch on AIM later because I have a crazy theory.
All right, let's go.
So we're caught up again with the blip, our timetable, right? Let's say this. Monica goes back, right? Monica,
yep.
Monica goes back to work at Sword.
Yep.
And we get confirmation of Sword. Like we knew it was Sword, but now like we know it's Sword. You know what I'm saying? Like they confirmed. Sword confirmed.
We know it's Sword. We know what Sword stands for. I didn't write it down. I'm sure somebody knows, but we're going to talk about that really quick. So Monica comes back.
Something about sentient, fees in the back because she was like, "Does that mean mutants?" I'm like, "No, it's like AI."
Yeah, right. Exactly.
But you know what's funny about that, guy? When we start showing pictures, there's a lot of mutants that worked for Sword in the comic books. Cable worked for Sword. Beast worked for Sword. If you guys Google Sword, you'll see all different mutants work for that.
Well, we're going to touch on that, which is Jay found something really cool that we'll get into. But there's so much going on in maybe the 3 or 4 minutes from Monica trying to enter Sword until she's at the town. So first off, she tries to walk in. She can't get in, right? Obviously, her card it's done. It doesn't work anymore. She's been gone for 5 years.
They don't use cards anymore. They're on some like wrist chip or something.
Yeah.
Like that,
let's see. Tyler Hayward, the current director of Sword, meets up with her. They have some type of relationship.
Like he was a rookie when she was already a vet or something.
Something was up there. I don't know if it was a physical relationship. I don't know if it was a hostile, some type of relationship between those two. If you go back and watch the episode, you could see they reference something without getting into it.
Yeah. Well, what happens is her mom was the boss of Sword at the time, and you could tell he was the next one up. Yeah, and she must have been a kid at the time because when they have that interaction, he's kind of like, "Oh, are you mad that I'm in charge now?" And she goes, "Who else would it be?"
Well, Jay, I kind of felt like Monica was next up, but because she was gone, he was up. So he's like, "I hope there's no hard feelings." And she's like, "Of course. I mean, what else would have happened? I wasn't here."
Yeah, and we know she's a captain. We know at that point when the blip happened, she was a captain. So.
And doing space missions.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's very important. I'm going to get into that. So we know, because we keep talking about time, right? Because it's kind of important where we are in the MCU. We know that she's the first Sword employee to come back to work post blip, and we're just about 2 weeks after. She's only been back for 2 weeks, and she comes back to work. We're there. Now, there's some really important dialogue here, so I want to make sure I get all this right. Talking about space, right? Well, the first thing I do want to talk about before we get into that is when they're walking through almost like the big garage and there's work going on in there, she asks him, why was the word creation removed from Sword? I guess they had a different title or something. I thought that was really important. It's almost like they don't create things anymore. And he talks about nanotech too, which the only thing we know about nanotech is Iron Man.
Yep.
He was the only one, right?
Every time I hear nano, I just think of Bloodshot.
But so he references nanotech. She references the fact that they don't create things anymore. For some reason, it was removed. And then they go back and forth about, there's villains out there, there's allies out there, threats out there, allies out there. And then they end up in his office. And this is where another thing that I thought was really important was discussed. He basically grounds her, right? She can't go back into outer space. Now, I think personally, it has something to do with the astronaut program that she asked about. She asked about the astronaut program. He basically said it's all gone to hell in a nutshell. They lost half their people. The other half don't want to be a part of it. Is this, and I'm going to ask you guys, is there any reference, is there any correlation in this to what Fury is doing up there with the Skrulls? And we will touch on the Skrulls again later. There's something there.
It almost seemed like Fury was working with Sword at the end of Captain Marvel.
Right?
The shield isn't in space. That's Sword.
Yep.
Right?
So if that's Sword, is that what Monica is referencing?
Could be
the astronaut program.
Yeah, I think that's a good
theory. Will it all come back together?
It's happening in the MCU. That's the only other thing where there's like a human presence out in space that's like of Earth, right? So yeah. I think that's probably going to tie in because I was thinking the same thing. What is Sword doing in space?
Right. Yep.
So
we know Secret Invasion's coming. It could have to do with Secret Invasion.
Absolutely.
Who knows? And Marvel's kind of probably going to go 50-50 with the cosmic route with Guardians of the Galaxy and stuff like that. And then, they got Punisher coming on now and they got Moon Knight. So it's going to be basically half and half. You got what's going on in Earth and what's going out in the cosmic.
It's funny you say that, Jay. Do you remember you and I had a conversation maybe a year and a half ago where we said, I'll bet you there's two major events going on. One, galactic, one cosmic and one earthbound, because I think that two events going on.
If Marvel's doing that, that's genius because that appeals to everybody because you got people that read all different types of stuff and everything ties in together. They could have one major event just like they did with Endgame.
Yeah. So with that, we're going to move now to basically, he sends Monica out to Jersey for a missing person. That's what it was supposed to be. There's a missing person out there. We meet up with Jimmy Woo?
Yeah, Agent James Woo.
What movie was he from again?
Ant-Man.
Yeah, he was from Ant-Man. Remember, Ant-Man was teaching him the card trick, and he finally got it.
Okay, he pulled out 23 movies. It's like, which one was it?
Yeah.
So Jimmy Woo and her are working together. Long story short, there's no such thing as that town from what the cops say. This part confused me, and I don't know how you guys felt.
I already know what you're going to say.
The town's sitting right there. The cops are saying there's no such thing as the town, but yet there's people in the town. They have like a numbers game, right? They have a population. They know how many people are in the town. And then what we kind of glance over quickly in probably less than 30 seconds is the missing person is gone. That person who is a male is in the witness protection and nobody knows who it is. Like none of their family or friends can remember who it is. So what's going on?
I was confused at first, but what it seems like to me is that there is no Westview. There is no 3,800 population because they start figuring out who the people are and putting them on the board, and it's people that they know from other areas. So there's really no town of Westview that's being stuck in this fake reality. There's an Eastville somewhere else, but this is just a fake town that doesn't exist, that has people from the outside world sucked in as leads in this sitcom.
Yeah, and so as we'll move on further, it's actually actresses and actors playing those parts because they say that Jimmy Woo is like, oh, this is so-and-so playing Herb. This is so-and-so playing the boss. This is so-and-so playing Phil, So
it's not like there's a town of people that are trapped or anything like that because
there was two major characters that weren't on that board. Well, that weren't identified on that board.
Oh yeah, we're gonna get into that.
Yeah.
So Rambo sends in the drone, which we find out later, which we kind of realize too, is what Wanda finds in episode 2.
Right.
Colored version. And now I'm starting to think it doesn't matter now that it became colored, but probably at the time, if you came from the outside in during the black and white, it remains colored.
And that's the first time. And that's the first time she realizes that, okay, people from the outside are looking in, because she has that nervous look on her face when she finds that helicopter.
Well, it's just like she knows it's not from there, you know?
Right.
Yeah, right. It's not like hers. It's not from, it's something still, ton of questions still, I got to say, right? I mean, we still have a ton of questions, but so Monica goes up to the force field, whatever you want to call it, gets sucked in. We know what happens to her, but we're not following her in. Instead, we're going with Jimmy Woo. All of a sudden, the next thing you know, Sword is set up outside camp. Everything is going on, almost like what S.H.I.E.L.D. did when Mjolnir hit the ground. And
then speaking of Mjolnir, then you have your girl from Thor, The Dark World, which I love. They're bringing in these characters from all these different like franchises, you know?
Yep.
Yeah, and she not only that, she's got her doctrine now.
Yep.
Right?
She's Dr. Lewis.
I like how she read the room right away, or the truck they were in. Like, what do you do? All right, everyone does different things. Okay, they don't know what the hell's going on.
Yeah. See, I have a huge theory about this too. So as soon as she hits the ground, somebody, I don't know if it's a Sword agent or somebody, takes her to her workspace and basically tells her, and I just said this to Jay 2 minutes ago, tells her we have she asks who's here, like how many different, or it looks like there's a lot of organizations. You got Sword, you have the Army, you have the FBI, a whole bunch of people there, and I still say AIM is there. AIM is one of these outside sources. I 100% believe that. I also believe that director Tyler Hayward is affiliated with AIM.
So here's my thought on that. When you see Sword going into the sewer, they go in as Sword, right? No bees, no nothing. But when they come out of that sewer, they come out almost like the beekeepers, which they call AIM. So could that be an agent going in as one thing, and they're actually showing you, hey, this may be AIM behind the helm, you know? Because why else have the beekeeper?
So I don't think AIM is going to be a part of this. I think that they debunked the AIM theory with just they didn't have hazmat suits in the 60s or whatever, which I kind of thought maybe they would have. Wasn't there a radiation scare back in the day? Anyway, so he comes up with something that's the most recognizable. Yeah, why are there bees? Maybe because it's a bee suit. I don't know. But I don't think AIM's a big deal because we had AIM in Iron Man 3. So I don't know that it's even necessary unless Agnes works for AIM and they go that route and they don't do the Mephisto thing.
I'm thinking more like the director of Sword may be working for AIM.
But what I told Fee is that if that's the case, it's like AIM is to Sword, like how Hydra was to S.H.I.E.L.D.
And that's kind of what I think is going on.
But I don't think you're going to have both. I don't think you're going to have AIM and Mephisto. I think it's going to be one or the other.
I think I think you have AIM from the outside. I don't think AIM's pulling any strings inside. I think they're just as confused as Sword.
So someone's pulling strings because you hear her say someone's monitoring this broadcast. That's not us. That's not Sword. Someone's monitoring that broadcast. We don't know who it is yet. I don't think Mephisto would be monitoring a broadcast. I think it would be an agency, whether it be S.H.I.E.L.D. or AIM, but someone else is monitoring what's going on there.
So at that point, Darcy, right? That's her name. Yep. Darcy finds the frequency, finds that there's a sitcom going on inside. Director Hayward is very interested. If you paid attention, he knew kind of what was going on with the frequency and everything.
Yeah, and so just to clarify, so Wanda's power is putting off radiation, right? And it has a frequency that just so lets somebody kind of tap in to see what's going on. And the radiation could potentially be dangerous, is what they said.
It could be. And what's really clever is they said way back when, Infinity War, these stones were created out of the Big Bang.
Right.
Hayward said that it's something about a radiation, like when the Big Bang went off.
Cosmic microwave background.
Right. So is that her, the whole stone? You know, she got her powers from the Mind Stone.
Yeah. No.
Right? No.
She doesn't have her powers from a stone.
Yeah,
Maybe
no.
Mind Stone, but she got hers from what's his face?
Oh, right.
Allegedly struck.
Yeah, I guess we really don't know because we know, right? In the book, she's a mutant.
Right. Yep.
Her powers are very similar, it seems, to the reality. Reality Stone or the Ether in the MCU,
right.
but she doesn't
Color
get
and
it
all.
from there though.
So here's my thing that I really liked. As soon as Monica got sucked into that world, she knew right away. She went deep cover. It wasn't like, hey, what's going on here? She's like, okay, I got to try to talk to Wanda, and I'm going deep cover here.
Well,
And
she figures it out. Remember, she gets spit out. She's like, it's Wanda. She's in control of everything.
Yep.
So when Darcy, and I don't know, did you guys pick up on this? When Darcy and the Hayward kind of talked really quick, my man was gone. He left. And it's almost like he left to put that dude in the suit to get him in the sewer to get him in.
Yep.
Okay, but here's one thing. Wasn't like that a field only letting people, not letting people in, or only letting certain people in?
I don't know if anyone, that's what the cop said, or Wu said it.
It was pushing people out or something.
Yeah, like, can't you feel it, right? Wasn't he saying that?
He felt it right before. Yeah, he could feel the whatever it is, the radiation, whatever it was given off.
Yeah.
So, where are we? Okay, at this point now, Darcy feels like she can communicate from the to the inside with the radio.
I love how this is the other side of that.
And this is important because we all of us watching, we already saw what happens.
Mm-hmm.
And this is where things get interesting again. They make contact, right? Can we just call it that? They make contact with the inside, but it was edited out of their version of the TV show. We saw it.
Right?
And what stuck out to me was not only did Wanda hear it and she has a nervous look on her face, but Dottie heard it too, because she says she's about to say, "What's that?" And it gets cut off and rewound, So it's like Wanda didn't want that outside source coming in.
She
right here, right? Here's that face.
Yep. And when she rewinds it, those people, they don't remember.
Yep, exactly. Yeah. Wanda hears it first, and then you see Dottie, who's definitely Arcana.
And remember, she smashes the glass in her hand and makes the blood.
Yep.
Yeah, that's why.
And she hit him with the Eminem line, like blood stains turn orange after something like that.
Yep.
And now I believe too, after this point where contact is made from the inside, they don't realize that contact was made on the inside. Jimmy gets out the whiteboard. And this was probably one of my favorite parts of the whole episode, because all the things he was writing down questions, and it's all the questions we have.
Yeah.
The hexagon shape and everything.
Scrolls, you see scrolls.
Look, they went out their way to say what's up with the hexagon shape, right? What's up?
Yeah, right there.
Yep.
Why hexagon shape? But guys, look at the bottom left.
Scrolls. Yeah.
And we learn it's a 5-mile radius.
Yeah.
This is where the Skrulls is where the Secret Invasion story arc is coming into play.
Yeah, and look, failed attempts. I wonder what that says under that.
So that's why I believe AIM is involved, because of the hexagons, and because it's written there, hexagon shapes, and we see
the more I think I don't think we're going to see Mephisto behind this, man. I think if anything, Agnes works for AIM or something like that. I think it's going to be more grounded. Mephisto just brings in this whole other element that's not really here,
I think I don't think we even hear mention of Mephisto until the Loki series.
The only thing about Mephisto is really the twins, man.
The twins, and they say the devil's always here. So
it could be that AIM is the devil. It could be that AIM wants her to have kids, and that Agnes is pushing her to do that.
I think it's definitely hinted at Mephisto. I just don't think we'll see him or hear his name in this entire series.
Yeah.
See, I think we are going to see I don't know if we will see Mephisto. We will learn of Mephisto from this series.
If we see Mephisto, it's going to be the cut scene at the end of Doctor Strange 2.
That's how late you think till we see him?
Yeah, look how long it took to see Thanos. We heard mention of him, and we knew he was coming, and look how long it took to see him.
Did we? No, well, I mean, I think they teased him first at the end of Avengers, but I mean, I definitely could see a slow burn, but I don't know.
This is already going up, right, Jay? Secret Invasion.
Yeah, Secret Invasion went. Yeah, all those books went up already. Those once they were mentioned, they went up. So here's where you got to look, guys. Everyone's specking on Mephisto right now, right? Everyone's grabbing that book. Everyone's grabbing that SS number 3, Silver Surfer number 3. You got to look the other way. Grab his son, Darkheart, Blackheart. Start grabbing those books. Those books are still on the cheap, because if Mephisto comes, he could come, especially if Ghost Rider's going to come. He's a huge villain in the Ghost Rider series. So, guys, start picking up. I'll look up what book it is now. I forget.
Daredevil book. I believe.
It's a Daredevil book. Start looking to get that book. Because
so at this point, we go to the whiteboard, have all these questions, and it's about the point where Rambo comes out. I don't think anything else important happens before she comes out. She gets spit out.
Well, they show that interaction in like widescreen, high def MCU eyes. You know what I'm saying? Which is pretty cool to see. We see Wanda. You know, she pushes through all the layers of the building, and then she puts the building back together. And when Vision comes back in, though, don't they show another little interaction of Vision kind of knowing? Oh no, this is where Vision comes through and kind of startles her a little bit. You got
looking like this.
Yep.
So that to me was like, yo, this is MCU. Like this is right after Endgame. This is where we left off.
Yep. This basically, after Monica's thrown through the walls, she says to all the agents, it's Wanda doing this. Wanda's doing this, and it's almost like Wanda's trying to control everything around her. And as soon as there's either something from the outside or something doesn't go right, she kind of loses focus a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
And as soon as she loses focus, something happens.
So, you know what I heard? What I thought was interesting. So is she manipulating Vision's dead body?
That's what I think.
I think so.
That's crazy.
And Mr. Mitchell says it right there. It's Daredevil 270 is the first appearance of Blackheart. So how weird is that too? Is that you got Mephisto possibly coming into the MCU, right? Odds are he's coming. You also have Daredevil, Charlie Cox, that just finished wrapping up Spider-Man 3. How crazy would it be if Daredevil ties into it with Blackheart, Mephisto's son? That could be crazy.
I'm just worried about Spider-Man 3, if that's really going to connect to MCU stuff or not, because they're doing everything over there with that movie, you know?
Yeah.
I mean, if it's going to depend, what comes out first, that or Doctor Strange?
I forget.
Yeah, I forget.
A lot of people are saying Nightmare.
But it's so funny. You know what? Universe X hit me up today and showed me a clip from Spider-Man 3, and there's a Feast truck there. And if you guys know Feast, it's
Aunt May and Mr. Negative.
Yeah, Mr. Negative from that, and he was a huge part of the Spider-Man PlayStation 4 game. So
and what's funny is they just brought that back in the most recent issue, ASM 58.
Yep. So you may see that. It may be an Easter egg, but shout out to UniX because he always finds stuff like that.
There's really good dialogue too between Vision and Wanda, where Vision's basically saying, let's go, let's get out of here. And she says, "No, we can't."
Yeah, all the teasers on the next episodes, right? Yeah,
we can't.
And there's a teaser of Vision going up to the edge of the city and stuff.
Yeah, which is crazy because if she's controlling him, that's why I don't know if she's really controlling him, because he seems to have a mind of his own.
That's true. Also, damn, it's hard. Yo, we can only speculate, you know.
That's the fun of it. So let's go back a little bit in the episode because I did want to touch on something Jay saw and something quick. Right. Well, let's do this one first. All right. We see the board, and they're piecing together that all the people that are on WandaVision, the TV show that we're watching, are actual people from the town.
No, not from the town, but they're locals.
They're local.
No, but they're actors. They're all actors.
And they're all Jersey licenses.
Yep.
The most important thing you see here is there's no Agatha and there's no Dottie.
Yep.
So hold on, which one's Dottie?
The blonde, that's her. So in the show, she's married to Phil Jones, the dude with the mustache.
Mm-hmm.
Him. In the comic books, if you guys look up Phil Jones in Marvel, he's married to Arcania.
The thing is, though, they spotted who Phil was, though. They called him something else too, right?
Yeah, but they didn't spot Dottie. And do you have a picture of Arcania? And look, it's you know.
Yeah. I mean, she must be important for something, right?
Yeah, exactly.
This is her. I mean, if I had to guess, I'm thinking between her and Agnes, they are witches. We've got two witches here. And whether they're working for Mephisto, working on their own, working for AIM, they're involved because they're the only two people that aren't on that board that we've met and interacted with. I mean, they know so many people. I'm going to bring the board back up. So many people that we even see people that we've only met one time.
Right.
Like one quick, like that's it. But we see no Agatha, no Dottie.
And then, yeah, throw up the other picture we showed that popped on the app.
I don't know which one that is. Oh, is that from last week?
That's that popped on Key Collector, that same book that you just threw up.
This guy?
Yep, that Defenders 112.
Watch this book, guys.
Yep.
Because I'll tell you right now,
it's still a $3 book on eBay.
The witches may be around for a little bit because it's a cool little group. I don't think it's going to be a one and done thing, especially if Mephisto is around. So there's this one. I got to give Jay credit on this one.
So here we go, guys. Oh, why don't we start back from the office, yeah?
Oh,
the first clip of her walking in, and then we'll go through each picture.
Do you want? Well, we saw this, right?
So, all right. So,
Yeah.
so this is big right here. So, guys, if you know, Monica Rambeau in the comics was also Photon, right? So I think what Marvel, with the MCU right now is debunking. Well, you could even go back one even further, yeah, before we even talk about that, to the TV screen. So what do you see there, guys? Matt Forge found this, and unfortunately he can't be with us tonight. But Spectrum News, guys, we talked about Spectrum. Monica Rambeau is known as Spectrum. There you see it, Spectrum News. They wouldn't have it there for no reason. So now we can go to Monica's mom, Photon, right? Monica Rambeau was Photon at one point in the comics. I think MCU is debunking Monica Rambeau becoming Photon.
Right.
That was her mom. I think she's going to come right out of Spectrum, guys. But what's also interesting about this is as she's walking down that corridor, you see a bald man up on that plaque. Like we talked about before, guys, a lot of mutants worked for Sword. Could this be Professor X? They wouldn't show you some random... Everyone on that board is somebody. Could this be Professor Xavier? I don't know. It could be, though, but something that was picked up.
I hope so. Because let's just put it this way. There were tons of rumors talking about Professor X making his first appearance in Doctor Strange, right?
Yep.
We also know that WandaVision is going to directly tie in with Multiverse of Madness, Doctor Strange 2. Is it possible that we see a glimpse right here of Professor X? I mean, I don't see why not.
It could be. I don't think they throw anything in the background for nothing.
Not in this show.
I could be totally wrong, but go back, guys. Look at all the mutants that worked for Sword. You got Beast in there. You got Cable in there. You got a ton. So check that out. It could be something.
All right. Now, you want to hit the necklace.
Speaking of Spectrum, guys, when you zoom on this, I took this picture off my TV, so I couldn't zoom in as much as possible. And it's weird because the Disney Plus app doesn't let you screenshot photos right onto your phone. And that's the first time I've ever seen that. And that right there is Spectrum's sign, guys. Gary, could you show Spectrum in uniform? There you go. So it's the first thing I noticed on her necklace. We seen the Spectrum News. We seen Agatha with her, her emblem that she wears every single episode that you also see in the comics. So she has the Spectrum logo on her gold pendant, and there's Spectrum right there, guys. So that was big. That was the biggest Easter egg that I found.
And a lot of good points too in the chat. Got to give credit here. Rep the comics. If they're speaking on Professor X, Magneto has to be there.
Yeah, she might find out.
Daughter.
Wanda might find out that she's a mutant.
Yeah, absolutely. That would be huge. If all we get out of this entire series is the mutants becoming a thing, I think that would be great. I think that would be real cool because we've talked about it too before. Like they aren't just going to drop an X-Men movie. Here's a mutant. Yeah. Here's a mutant. Here's a mutant.
Well, you kind of got to pepper it in to explain where they've been the whole time. Yeah.
Right. Exactly. And what better way than hey, Stryker didn't create these Wanda and
they got to retcon that too, man.
Quicksilver, they were actually mutants that they were hiding this whole time and believed they gained these powers.
And they got to say it. They're not miracles. They're
mutants. Exactly.
They can end the show with that.
And they got to say it just like that.
Right.
Yeah, they could end the show just like that. Boom. Done. Yeah, they're not miracles. They're mutants.
Or you could even have Professor X roll up like he did at the remember when you thought he was dead after X-Men 3 and then he showed up in a post-credit scene for what was it, Days of Future Past, and everyone was like, oh.
Yeah. God, that movie was so bad. The third one. And then we did touch on this.
Yeah.
Vision. I mean, is that what he looks like to everyone?
Why would she see him like that? Unless she's just realizing that he's dead, or unless she's playing puppet master with his body right now.
I don't know. And they made a point. Darcy made a point to say Vision is dead. Not blipped, not.
He's done.
Yes, he did.
Vision is done.
So look, a lot of people specking on Avengers 57. It's going crazy right now. I don't think it's a good buy. I don't think we're going to see Vision in the MCU after this show.
Yeah, I don't think it's a good buy either. I think you wait about a year and then buy it when it drops back down.
People are buying it because of the hype, but it's not going to go up after. This is the peak.
You want to know what book is probably going to continue to go up for a while? Is that X-Men 4?
It should. That's always been a great book with the two first appearances and kind of like, what is it, second Magneto as well?
That's Magneto, first Toad, first Brotherhood, first Quicksilver, first
Wanda.
That book, it's too late, I think, man. That book is
expensive book, but
yeah, you got to start thinking about the other characters that are associated with these characters and grab those books, guys.
Here, Rep the Comics with a $4.99 super chat. You guys are awesome. Thanks. Magneto will be there over Mephisto and AIM. What if Agatha is working with Council of Witches, Doom's mom, etc.?
Yeah,
that'd be cool with that too, though.
Yeah, we talked about that too. What if there's multiple entities involved?
Like I'm telling you, Mephisto doesn't make sense to me, man. I don't see it happening. I mean, it just doesn't fit with anything. Like all those other things make more sense because they got to introduce Fantastic Four. They got to eventually bring in Doom. They got to bring in the mutants.
See, I think it's Mephisto because you saw it in Loki and the story arc with the twins.
But the Loki thing could have just been whatever. You know what I'm saying? I don't know.
Now the Loki stained glass window. I don't know, man. I think that's a good.
It could just be the devil. It could just be something trippy. I don't know.
Joker Jack thinks it's Ultron.
But I find it's so weird when they mention his name in that setting. It's like, ooh, I don't know. It's just like Ultron killed him, right? It's like, dang.
Yeah, that was crazy. So like we don't know yet. Maybe we'll get an answer in the next. I don't know about the next episode because it almost looks like it's a Halloween episode next. But we don't know if Monica was being controlled to a point,
right? Because it almost seemed like she was like out of it, right?
Yeah. Was she playing along and she went for it when she brought up Ultron?
She is an agent. You know what I'm saying? She knows how to play her role.
And here's the other thing too: are all the other characters playing a part in this game, or are they being controlled? Because in episode 1 at the dinner table, the mom or the chick whose husband was choking, she looked legitimately scared.
Oh yeah!
Stop it! Was she talking to Wanda or was she talking to her husband?
Right, or both, or I don't know, and or even the neighbor, why was he drilling through the brick wall? Are they being controlled, and then she lapses because somebody mentioned something from the real world, and then they're like, oh man, what's going on? This is not real. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because we've seen that. We've seen her lose, not I don't know if control, but almost
control of vision. You know what I'm saying?
Right? She's losing focus when something else.
She's losing focus when the real world is being brought into this world that she's manifesting.
And then though, think about how much power she's using to create a 5-mile radius of this dome with this electromagnetic field and this fake world on the inside controlling all these people. It's kind of crazy, man. Like they didn't really unleash her power, never her hex power, always just like a force push power in the movies, you know?
Well, you know what's funny? This is also the first episode, kind of the last episode, where we actually see her respond to it. This is the first episode we see the red glow, and she actually looks at her hands.
Yeah, she realizes it too. Like, oh crap.
Well, when she blasts Monica through the wall,
yeah,
she kind of looks at herself like, oh my God, what'd I just do? Like, what'd I do? And could she be being manipulated? We still don't know. I think there's a lot going on, guys. Especially with these witches now. And another shout out to Matt Forge, because he told me almost a year ago to grab Astonishing Tales number 8, and that's the first appearance of Cynthia Von Doom, Dr. Doom's mom. So who was a witch back in the day, so could they bring her in? Could they bring Latavia in before they bring in Dr. Doom? Because he's coming. It's only a matter of time.
That would be good, man.
Because everyone's like he's already been bought into the Fantastic Four. But who else is the Fantastic Four going to go with? They can't go with Mole, man. How do you
I mean,
they're gonna have
they
to go to
definitely got the Silver Surfer Galactus thing going on for them.
Yep.
You know, they kind of already botched Inhumans. You got Heralds and Galactus, and the thing with Doom is they never introduced his magical aspects. It's always just been like, oh, cosmic radiation. He got powers just like Fantastic Four got him, you know. But he has a richer background in the comics.
Look at Jay. This one's for you. Everybody says Mephisto, Agatha, Doom, etc. Maybe it's Null.
Nah, Null ain't coming for a while.
So there are apparently leaked things out there. So I'm going to talk possible spoilers for the next episode. If you guys don't want to hear it, I never say leave the chat or leave the watching us, but there are some things on the internet. Do you guys care if I talk about it?
Well, it's all speculation, right? Or is it part of the previews?
This is straight up rumors and leaked footage.
I don't care. I mean, whatever.
Yep, let's go.
So
real quick, Gary, I just want to say, because someone in the chat said, I hope we see Quicksilver. And it's like, dang, it's kind of messed up that she didn't bring him back for her little fantasy world, you know?
Well, how about this? You ready for this one?
Let's do it.
We've seen Vision in how many movies now? A bunch? Yep. When has he ever had super speed? He doesn't. Is that her projecting her brother into Vision? Those are the two biggest losses of her life, right?
Yeah. I don't know. I guess, but they showed him also in this episode using that with his hands and stuff.
Yeah, but we've never seen that in the movies. He's never that ability.
Yeah, I got you. I can see that.
So in the future episode, so next week, apparently there was leaked stuff on the internet showing the actor who played Quicksilver from the Fox movies.
Yep.
That he's in the next episode. Now, it's not confirmed or not whether or not he's showing up, Evan Peters, as Quicksilver or just as a character, someone else in town. I don't know. Wait a week.
Here's the thing. You don't know if when they bring back these characters that are dead, if it's her just manifesting it or not, or it's going to be them, you know? It could just her, bringing back a memory.
What's also crazy is like those are like the only two deaths in the MCU, right? Except for, I guess, maybe Phil Coulson, but he kind of isn't dead if you watch Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. So it's crazy how the two deaths really affect her. You know what I mean?
Yeah, those are some big ones. I mean, Tony, she wasn't super close.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, and that doesn't even come up, right?
Yep.
No, not really.
Not yet.
It came up a lot in Spider-Man Far From Home.
Yep.
Yeah, so think about it. That's how long this stupid freaking pandemic we're going through. The last thing we saw was Spider-Man.
Yeah.
And we saw post-blip, right? Didn't Spider-Man kick off Phase 4? Or was that officially the end of Phase 3?
I think it was the epilogue of Phase 3.
Yes.
So we are starting Phase 4 right now.
If that's what they're calling it. I don't know if they're considering. I guess so. Yeah, no, it is. This is Phase 4 because this is part of the big announcements from San Diego Comic-Con 2019.
Yeah. Yes, she was at the funeral because she had a discussion with, who was she talking to? Hawkeye at the water talking about Vision and Scarlet Black Widow. That's another death.
Oh, she's dead too. Yeah.
But that's not a big. Doesn't affect.
No, so I was wrong. I mean, prior to Endgame, but I guess Vision died in Infinity War. Yeah, so Endgame brought them more deaths. Okay, yeah. Anyway.
I mean, if Evan Peters is coming as Quicksilver, do we tease Magneto? Does this show end? Do we learn that, hey, by the way, Wanda, your father's out there somewhere? I don't know.
It's her father. They gotta tie that in, right?
They gotta tie it in, especially now that they got the rights to it. How do they not tie that in?
How could they not be like, hey, you lost your lover, you lost your brother, your father's here to see you. Boom.
Yeah. What other way to introduce the mutants than have Wanda find out that she's a mutant and her dad? That would be insane.
I think the biggest thing from this episode, and I'm going right back to it, is right here.
There you go.
That looks like Professor X to me.
Yeah, but I mean, it could be the director of the episode for all we know. You know what I mean? Like
he got straight posture, like he's sitting in a wheelchair right now.
Yo, super excited, man. Like, I like the build up. I mean, you can't have that in episode 1, man. They built up to this. Look at how it has everybody talking. I see so many channels doing, WandaVision coverage, and it's exciting, man.
Well, what's exciting is Falcon. It leads right into Falcon and Winter Soldier, and now they're talking about Black Widow just being streamed on Disney Plus. which I think they're going to have to do eventually. Because how long are they going to hold off? How long is it going to be before people are comfortable going to a movie theater?
They got to just take an L on that. And plus, I got to be honest, I wasn't really looking forward to Falcon and Winter Soldier or Black Widow movie.
I think Black Widow is going to be a sleeper, but I'm more excited of that cutscene. What that cutscene is going to be after, because that's what's, that movie was supposed to come out and then lead us into, the beginning of Phase 4. So that's,
Jay, I think the shows will have post-credit scenes.
I've been waiting for one.
I think the final episode will, just like Mandalorian.
Yeah, that's gonna be crazy, man.
I also don't think. I think Falcon Winter Soldier is going to be a great show, but I don't think you're going to have these kind of discussions.
They're going to be very straightforward action episodes. I think I think Loki will have these kind of discussions.
I think Loki will have the biggest discussions, and I think Loki is going to be the big key on what's going to happen next.
Loki's also the end of the three shows, right? There's nothing else.
But what if show?
But is that tying in?
I don't know. I think What If is its own separate entity, but that's going to be dope, dude. I can't.
Fun, but they're probably going to be standalone issues, right? Like standalone episodes.
Yeah, I don't.
It's going to be Loki, and then I'm super excited for Love and Thunder. I can't wait to see Gore on the silver screen. That's going to be insane.
I think the Jane Foster Thor thing is going to be interesting on screen as well.
It's going to be crazy. So I don't know. Maybe the guys in the chat know this, but like, what's our timeline for Spider-Man 3, Venom 2, Thor? Like, are we going to get a null?
I don't see it happening.
I think, like I said it 100 times, guys. How do you have Gore without the Necro Sword and all that?
I mean, you probably have the Necro Sword, but it doesn't mean you have to touch on Null for a while.
I think he'll be teased.
I'll tell you what. If they talk about the Necro Sword, then you're going to get Null.
Yeah, absolutely.
After Maximum Carnage, I can see the Maximum Carnage movie ending, and Null is the end credit scene.
I'll tell you what. Out of all the characters I like, I think Gore the God Butcher has one of the best origin stories that Jason Aaron total out of all writers that he came up with. Gore, the way he became the way he is, guys. I would go back and read that God of Thunder run because his origin story is dope.
Here we go. So this schedule, because is this right? Black Widow, then Shang-Chi, then the Eternals, then Spider-Man, then Doctor Strange, or is that old?
No, that could be right.
That might be right.
I totally slept on Shang-Chi.
May 7th, Black Widow. July 9th, Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings. November 5th, the Eternals, which I'm super hyped for because you're going to get Galactus, I think, in there, yo. I think you're going to get, obviously Celestials. December 17th is Spider-Man. And then next year, March 25th is Doctor Strange. And then Love and Thunder.
That's crazy because this was supposed to run into Doctor Strange. Like the final episode of WandaVision was supposed to set up Doctor Strange. I could have sworn that was the whole thing.
Maybe this might not be accurate. I don't know. It's the first thing that came up when I Googled it.
You can have the Necro Sword. I'm telling you, they're doing Venom 2. They're going to do a Maximum Carnage movie. You can bring Null in after that, down the line.
It's crazy. Like Sony's the last little piece that Marvel doesn't have like 100% control of the character. And they're always trying to do some left field stuff. When Marvel's putting all the pieces together, everything's connected, and then it's like you got to play nice with these guys.
Here comes Morbius.
Right.
That no one.
I'll tell you what. I'm excited for Morbius. I know some people, are hating on it. I think it's gonna be good, dude.
Yeah,
it looks good.
If anything, I think it'll be a one and done kind of thing.
But at the end of the day, it's still Morbius.
It's still Morbius, but I think it's
a movie.
I think you'll see. I think Marvel. Maybe if this pandemic never happens, Marvel already would have acquired Sony. Yeah. Who knows? I mean, they're bleeding right now. Marvel and Sony. Disney and
Marvel
Sony
can afford it. I don't know that Sony can.
Right? Yep.
No, Disney can. Yeah, no doubt, because they have the Disney Plus income and all that. But still, like, what's Sony? They'll end up with it, I believe.
And like George said, Blade's coming as well.
Was it PS5 like an underperforming system or something like that? Something like that.
We got a super chat. LMA and slots $5. Eric Bana, Hulk laid a groundwork for a Red Hulk Thunderbolts Ross, and it's now or never.
Yo, they have him in the MCU. They can easily do Red Hulk.
Yep.
I think they are. Isn't he coming during the She-Hulk show?
Maybe, yeah.
I think that's fun. Well, is there anything else you guys want to talk about? Because it's hard to go along with this show when there was no true spec or, like we had a lot of books to talk about the first 3 episodes. We had a lot of characters to talk about.
Well, now I think Monica Rambeau is a good pickup if you find it for cheap. I wouldn't go spend top dollar and break GPA on that. I wouldn't buy Avengers 57 right now because I think Vision's going to be done after this show, and I think you're going to see that book crash right after that.
That ASM book is going through the roof. The Monica one.
Oh,
the Monica one. You could probably still find that in long boxes.
Probably, but that's gonna be a little hard. I was actually at a small convention Friday, and I saw a lot of them on the wall or in like 24
popular now. But if you find one, she might lead into Captain Marvel too and things like that.
Yeah, I think
I wouldn't mind Brie hitting the road and she takes over as Captain Marvel.
I don't think that's gonna happen.
I heard rumors that Brie wasn't gonna be Captain Marvel anymore. Like they might do that in the sequel. You never know.
Yeah, it's totally possible. I mean, think about it. She has ties. Monica has ties to Captain Marvel. She has ties to the Skrulls. She has tied to Fury. She's gonna be around.
They could bring in Fila Vel too, though. I think Monica's coming as Spectrum. And that if you grab that Mighty's Avengers #1, you could find that cheap, guys. You could find that. You could probably still find that in dollar bins.
There you go. All right, and I guess with that, we're pretty much done here. Oh no, we're not. What's your guys' grades? So let me tell you this. We talked theory. Maddie Forge gave episode 4 an 8. So, all right, Jim, what do you think?
Yeah, I think I'm 8 too because I think I went 3, 5, 7.
You went 3, 5, 5.
3, 5. No way.
Yeah.
No, I went better every time.
I've got you for 3, 5, 5.
Nah, it's definitely 3, 5, 7. And then you know what? This one, I'm gonna give it a 9. This one was like 9. You can't even tell me there was no BS, no fake world. I Love Lucy, none of that. This was straight MCU, bringing in characters from multiple different movies, tying up so many loose ends, answering more questions than it was asking. I just thought it was great, man.
Jay?
I'm gonna go. I want to go a little bit low. I'm gonna go definitely. I went 666.
Yeah, you did.
I went 666, and I was gonna give this a 7. But I'm going to give it an 8. And the reason I'm going to give it an 8 because is how it started and the foundation it led. You see her come back after the blip, I thought that was done real well.
That was the coolest part of the episode.
Yeah, I thought that was pretty dope. And so I'll give it an 8. I like an 8. I'm with Matt Forge on that. I'll give it an 8. What I don't like is all the DMs I got from people saying, oh, I told you it was all the people that told me, oh, the first 3 episodes were good. They were good. They were good. Now I'm getting DMs. Oh, I told you episode 4 was going to get better. What do you mean get better? You told me the first 3 were good. Now it got better. So come on, guys. Them first 3 episodes were trash. I'll
tell you right now, though, the first 3 episodes kept us talking for a while.
They did. And finding the Easter eggs were fun.
And it built up. This episode wouldn't have been as good if it wasn't for the first 3 episodes.
I agree with that.
And again, this one we didn't have as much to talk about because it was super straightforward.
Yeah. Well, who's gonna go back and watch episode 1, 2, and 3? You're gonna go back and watch episode 4, if anything.
You could probably start the series with 4
because you kind of get the gist of it already. You don't really need to see it again. I don't know.
It was cool though. I will say it was really cool to see exactly what happened between Wanda and Rambo.
Yeah. And look, they tried something new. This makes me feel like Winter Soldier and Falcon are going to be even worse because it's just going to be such a straightforward, regular ass show where this one was like so out there and like different layers,
But
that's what it is. It's different.
I have a lot of faith in Loki being very similar to this.
I agree, and I like the whole the time agency thing.
Yeah.
Because they're playing with time. It's like a similar out there kind of thing. And then Loki, great actor. He's, one of the best actors in the MCU, I would say, man, especially for villains.
Yeah. And I'm going to go actually with you guys. Well, with Matt and Jay, I'm going to go 8 on this episode. I liked it a lot. And I think from here on out, it's only going to maintain that. We're not going to get a filler episode. We're not going to get an episode like 1, 2, or 3. I think from here on out, it's going to be.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think it could potentially revert because you have all those scenes with the Halloween costumes and looking like Roseanne. It could possibly be not as good as I keep wanting to say issue. There could be ones that are not as good as episode 4, but I have high hopes. I think we're gonna get quality either way.
I think episode 5 slows down a little bit again.
I don't think so. I think 5 is going to be just as good because I think we're going to see Vision now. We've seen the trailer. Like Vision knows something's up. Yeah. I think we're going to get a lot of that.
But again, how does he know if he's dead? Right?
I don't know, and that's what I don't understand either. I don't know. Remember, maybe there's a part of Vision still in him because. Right. We talked about this last week with Shuri.
Yep.
Shuri. Maybe there's a little bit of Vision in there.
But maybe she's the part of the Mind Stone that would have normally had him alive in conjunction with his regular like AI, right?
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. We'll see.
So funny. I was watching something Avengers the other day, and he was Jarvis, and I was like, oh dang, remember he was Jarvis.
He was Jarvis. He's been around in every phase.
Yeah. Or it could just be her subconscious. He could be just totally wiped out, and because he says
like figuring shit out. Then
he talking to the neighbors without her around.
Yeah, that's where it's weird.
And he went to that meeting where he swallowed gum. She wasn't anywhere around. She was doing her own thing in her own little meeting.
Maybe she gave them a little bit of free will at the same time. Who knows, man?
Well, hopefully we find out.
I think we will.
So that's it for us tonight, guys. I'm stoked for episode 5. It's Halloween time in the 80s.
Yeah.
We got 3 8s and a 9. Jem was very generous.
I'm telling you, we gotta go back and check that last episode we did because I'm pretty sure I gave it a 7. I went up every time.
I've got episode 1. No one was happy with episode 1, but Jay gave it a 6. You gave it a 3. Matt gave it a 3. I gave it a 4. Episode 2, I got Jay gave it a 6 again. You gave a 5. Matt gave a 7. I gave a 6. Episode 3, Jay gave another 6. I had Jem as a 5, but you could have been 7.
No, it had to be 7.
5, and I gave a 6.
And like Jay Cross said in the comments, you know what? I take it back. It wasn't trash. It just wasn't. It was weird and it was different, and it's just something I didn't enjoy. If they could have done episode 4 as episode 1, just a quick little what's going on.
You know what Fee said? Fee said they should have made the first 3 episodes just one episode.
Right, exactly. If they would have done that, it would have been so much better. So much better.
Let me ask you this. What if the show started with episode 4 and then episode 2 was actually 1? So you actually saw the MCU things first.
Give you something familiar first, right?
Then you went into WandaVision.
Because look, that's why they released the first 2 episodes at the same time because it was like, all right, let's get this out of the way real quick.
Yeah, yep, I agree.
It's gonna get weird.
Yeah, and it definitely was strange, but I think we're past that. I do think next week's gonna be good. I do. Yeah. And Agnes is in it, and if Quicksilver is really in it, or if that actor Peters is in it as Quicksilver or whatever, I think it'll be cool. And that's it for us. What do you got going on this week, Jem?
Mad statue reviews. I just dropped yesterday that Darth Maul from Sideshow, awesome piece. I got the Darth Sidious in here. I got the new Harley Quinn, Hell on Wheels, where she's got the roller skates on. I got the XM Deadpool coming in. I got the Prime One Studio Berserk Void statue. So I got a big banger week coming up, man.
Jay,
I'm on Spine Ticks tonight. That's gonna fly off the rails. Monday we do, Tuesday our new comic book day pull list comes out. Wednesday we're going live. We'll go back to, we had guests on the previous 2 live shows, so we'll go back to our normal comic book news where we pick books to look out for. And that's it, man. Yeah, have you guys heard any news on your Joker statue? I haven't got an invoice yet.
Nothing. Just waiting to pay for shipping.
Yeah, me too.
Which Joker is this, guys? The 1/3 Iron Studios?
Yeah.
You guys both bought the same statue?
Yeah. I need that for my cave, dude. That shit is dope.
I saw that. I saw that in person. It was a great statue, man.
Only the Capullo head though. The other head is garbage.
I forgot. Yeah. What? I got something else happening too. Oh, I can't really speak on it though. But I got something surprise coming too though on the channel.
Nice.
Coming up soon.
Yeah.
All right. I think I've got my video Monday might be the convention I went to on Friday. Show you what I picked up. I spent $350 at the convention. I'll show you what I got.
Cool.
And then
we know you always make it out on top.
Yeah, absolutely.
we'll see.
Yeah, man.
So for all of us, thank you guys again. Next Saturday, 9:00. Sound good for you too?
Probably.
Works
I'm
for
sure
me.
that's going to be the day before the Super Bowl. So get your boxes. And that's it, guys. Have a great night. Thank you so much. We'll see you next week. Have a good one.
Peace.